YouTube, we're out here. What's up, man? I appreciate y'all for hopping in on the live. You know, we're just walking down the streets of Detroit, dressed up. Don't mind me as much. I'm trying to work on my appearance a little bit more, while also being able to. Well, I mean, actually, not even that. I had a funeral, and so because I had the funeral, I, was dressed up while I was there, and so I wanted to get dressed up again in order to look the part of a well-educated black man, but also just working on my appearance in general, which is something that I've been doing for a minute anyways. But the thing that's bothering me is I done forgot my watch. So watch is really bothering me. I'm used to having my Invicta on, or my Swatch, or my it's another brand I have, but I don't know the name of it really. But I need to get more watches too anyways. But yeah, man, we just walking the streets of Detroit. Let's look at this real quick. It's a decent vibe. And then down the street this way is actually where the Detroit Tigers are playing baseball. For those baseball fans that be tuning in on with my channel, I don't really record baseball personally because it's not much there besides like a full broadcast. Personally, in my opinion. At the same time, I mean, you got to get permissions to be doing that. High school you can record, but high school baseball is not that big. I would actually prefer to record soccer, or even record recording basketball. We record track and field too. So baseball is not really something that I'm choosing to record. I could have went to the game today too. But let's get to the whole point of the video. Part of the reason why I wanted to do the video was because my bad, I got another distracted. So part of the reason why I wanted to bring up the video, why I wanted to do this video, was because see, I'm getting distracted by the Tagalog I'm hearing. When I've been studying the language, well, at least a year ago, I started studying the language. So I'm down here, let me know. Okay, the whole point of the video. The whole point of the video was to talk about, and this kind of relates back to sports, is I know y'all are out there wanting a degree, wanting to get a scholarship, wanting attention from college coaches. I know y'all want it, but the reality is only certain college coaches are going to look at you, and that's going to be based on a lot of different things. It's going to be based on the fact that which school are you going to, what competition are you playing against, what's the size of the school, the competition that's based on in your school in order for you to get a starting position. They might not even look at that, but they might think about it, because you might be at an 8A school. For people that don't know 8A, it might be like a triple A for y'all, where it's literally 3 A's, or it might be in a different way that y'all do it. But depending on the school size and depending on your state, and things are going to be a little bit different for the class that you're in. Might be in class 1, 2, class 3, And so all that matters when a coach is looking at what you got going on. But they also going to look at the fact that what are your grades? So your grades is going to depend on if you can even get into the college in the first place. If you're trying to go D1, you're going to need a 2.5, but a 2.5 is kind of like being really minimal. 2.5 might even tell a coach, he's like, hey, look, he might not make it D1, but he can play good enough. We'll take him. Oh, he got a 3.5. All right, well, he's not as skillful, so let's go ahead and take him because he has the grades, and we can also develop him into the player that we think that he can be and that we want him to be. So it's just going to be different things that the college coach is looking at. And I might end up doing a video where I talked to a previous college basketball coach, and we'll use basketball because that's what the channel is mainly consisted of. But I might end up using a video or getting some information from a college basketball coach who used to coach at least, if not still coaching, and get some information as to what they are looking for, so I can give y'all more information on this channel as to how you want to be presented and who you want to be presented at, how to present yourself in general when you don't even know who's around you and actually watching you, or watching you at the games, or just watching you in life, coming out of high school, dressed up probably like this, but actually not like presenting themselves as a coach. They don't have anything that's on the right side or the left side stating which college they are actually there for, you know. So that really wasn't even the point of this video, but I guess I just kind of got into it. But yeah, so your GPA is going to matter. Well, I'm going to tie it into what I was actually going to talk about originally. And let's look at the scenery while I talk. But what I was actually going to talk about originally was, I see a lot of buildings around here and a lot of companies around here. A lot of them are restaurants. A lot of them are like clubs. Not so much clubs, but some of them are like parking lots. You could be a parking lot person. Some of them are clothing brands, clothing stores. Yeah, it just depends. And then I see a lot of tech companies. Like, for example, I'm seeing Microsoft out here. I saw a shoe store, SpaceX. Like, all these places. And I'm sorry the video is not as smooth. I don't really have like a tripod for my hand or nothing like that. So, but all these places are different and of different industries. Different industries as in like technology. Some of them may be industrial, but they're like, this is the corporate building. Some of them are just within the hospitality realm or section, spectrum, however you want to call it. And what you get into is ultimately going to matter. Excuse me. But what you get into when you get into college is going to matter. A lot of people will say, no, it don't really matter what I do because I'm just going to go pro. Everybody doesn't go pro. It doesn't happen. So everybody doesn't go pro. Everybody doesn't go D1. It's like your expectations have to be realistic. Now, I'm not telling you to go shoot low ball. Like don't shoot under what you actually are supposed to shoot for. You know, try and get everything that you can out of the sport that you're playing, even if it means that you are the shortest man on the roster. It doesn't really matter as much like that, because if you can do the work and you can put in the work and you got the grades, and the college coaches have your attention as well as you having their attention, then that's what's really going to matter at the end of the day. But what I'm saying is, you need to evaluate what you want to go to school for. And that's really the whole point of the video. What you want to go to school for is going to matter. Because when you get out of school, whether you end up making pro or not, whether you end up just doing the 4 years and you're like, hey, I just want to focus on being a parent. At the end of the day, if you're a man, you got to provide. And if you're a woman, then you'll have to nurture eventually having kids. And that's why I'm saying that, because if you do plan on having kids, then that's probably going to be the roles that you possibly take on. Considering this in today's society, you just never know if that's actually going to be the case. And I'm not trying to shove that down y'all's throat. But I would just stress making sure you know what you're going to go to school for before you go to school. It's easier said than done. I know it. It's easier said than done. But at the end of the day, if you can do that, it's going to help tremendously as to finding out the school you want to go to, how much money you're going to spend at the school, how much debt you're going to incur from going to the school. All that's going to matter, I swear. And so make sure that y'all focus on, you know, finding out what actually is your passion, what actually is your high interest, you know, what piques your interest. All that is going to matter. And so, like, get into something that's going to be beneficial. Don't just do gen eds and get a degree for the sake of just getting a degree. I would try and focus on something. I mean, of course, you want to get your gen eds out the way, especially if you go to junior college. So that way that when you actually are ready to go to a 4-year, you already have the gen eds knocked out. And when you got the Gen Eds knocked out, it makes it so much easier to go to that 4-year and actually try and get the degree that you want, especially if you've been focusing on a certain major or a certain focus area for getting that degree. Because if you do that, now you go into the next school and you already got the Gen Eds done, and you have some classes that are core classes that you actually need for the specific degree that you want. So make sure y'all focusing on that and try and get a job that is going to be of longevity, something that is actually going to provide to the world, or the world is going to continue to need. If you go in hospitality, you know how hotels are always going to be a thing, and if it's not hotels, then it's going to be Airbnb, or it's going to be, I think it's Verbo, that company too. And if you're in a different section of hospitality, you know, travel, transportation, you do Uber, you got Lyft, you got Curb, different things. You could be a taxi driver. You know, you got different things that you could do as a result of you going to college for exactly what you want to go for, or even exactly for what maybe your parents might think is the best for you to go there for. So make sure that y'all like tune in on what really matters and what's important to y'all, but also what is sustainable as far as in the job market, and you're actually trying to get the job. You know, make sure you study all that stuff that you need to study, because the world is going into the direction of technology. And with all this technology, it's going to take over a lot of different aspects. And the world is not going to need humans as much. It's going to need people to run the AI, but the AI is going to be running us to some point. Running us and like taking over our jobs. So I just wanted to get y'all some food for thought. Don't go into something that's not going to be beneficial. It's beneficial, at least looking at 10 years to 20 years, or even getting to retirement. It's not going to matter. You're going to have to be hands-on. You're probably going to have to be manual labor, or machine is going to take your job. So make sure that y'all tune in to that and stay focused. My basketball players, basketball season is almost on the way. I will probably be, I thought somebody was yelling at me, but for my basketball players, I'm gonna be there during the season. I'm just gonna be limited on how much I can record because I have a second job. So be on the lookout for new videos when it's time for basketball season. Football season, I cannot promise you anything. I'm probably not gonna pop into any games because I do work Friday nights and I do work Saturday nights. So it's gonna be hard for me to do that unless I can get somebody to cover my shift. But I appreciate y'all. Keep tuning in. Please subscribe. Hit the bell for more notifications. And share, friends and family, comment, all that. Leave a like, please.